The Onion's Election 2012. We decide, not you. Brought to you by 7-Eleven or 7-Election. Voting rights available at participating locations only.
Among the many swing states that will determine this November's presidential election, Florida has proven throughout recent history to be one of the key battlegrounds for candidates to win. The challenge for both candidates right now is finding a way to appeal to Florida's young voters, those in the 70 to 80-year-old range, while also addressing the needs of the older 81 to 95-year-old demographic. Now, while the state's younger, more mobile, 75-year-old voters have tended to lean Democratic, recent years have proven that even Florida voters as young as 72 or 73 are trending slightly more conservative. Turning now to the candidates themselves. Both Obama and Romney are no doubt already closely familiar with Florida's voting history in prior presidential elections. Florida is well known for being a state that can go either way. For instance, in 2000, the state famously voted for Republican George W. Bush. However, in 2000, the state voted for Democrat Al Gore. Florida election officials say this is a common trend.
You never know which way Florida voters will go. As recently as 2000, we saw that voters favored a clear conservative, and George W. Bush, of course, took the state. But if you look back to 2000, voters opted for a more liberal candidate, and they elected Vice President Al Gore. So the question is, will we be seeing the Florida that elected George W. Bush in 2000, or will we see the Florida that elected Al Gore back in 2000?
With the past proving that the election can truly fall to either candidate, we have Eric Joyner, one of Obama's campaign workers, here with us today to discuss the president's plans for winning over Floridians. Eric, as we head into the final stretch of the campaign, what is the Obama team's main agenda?
Well, we're targeting voters that we feel the Romney camp is having trouble connecting with. I'm talking about Southern Florida alligator voters, typically overlooked by Republicans in this state. We can expect a lot of the older alligators will skew Republican in November, but we believe a lot of the younger gators, as well as turtles, toads, and manatees, will turn out for Obama in droves. Beyond that, we are heavily canvassing flamingo habitats, fiercely independent voters historically, but we're making inroads with our message, and we're reaching out to cattails, reeds, and other swampland flora that Republicans have frankly written off.
And now we ask the same question to Romney campaign worker Amy Muthing. So, Amy, how does Mitt Romney plan on winning over Florida voters?
Well, we believe Mr. Romney had already shown voters he's a man that can get things done when he presented them with the corpse of Hurricane Betsy early last October. And we're confident he has only cemented that reputation when he showed Floridians the dead and bloated carcasses of Hurricanes Andrew and Francis, not to mention the strength he showed when he uppercutted Hurricane Isaac right in the face during the Republican National Convention and knocked him out cold. Now, if all of this fails, we do plan on simply stealing the election, which is always a pretty safe bet.
So which way will Florida go? At this point, I think it's fairly safe to say that the election could go to either candidate depending on how many votes each candidate gets. For example, if Romney has more votes, there is a very good chance that he will win Florida. But if President Obama manages to get more votes, I would then say that he is actually more likely to win. In other words, the candidate that gets fewer votes will likely be unable to win. If Obama has 11 million votes and Romney has 9 million votes, then it would be very difficult for Romney to win, particularly if all the voting booths are closed. At least that's what the experts are telling me.